All right, what's going on? Um, this is Yes here. I am recording a video with a new microphone I got for Christmas, and it's been a little while because I've been out of town visiting family. Um, but figure out just do like a quick hand review. I have some spots pulled up, but I think for this video, just be more of a chill one because I'm a little bit sleepy. So just review like maybe a hand or two and um, look at some interesting stuff. So, um, anyway, this will be the first hand. So we see a cutoff open to 2.5. And we defend the big blind with Queen of Clubs, Ten of Hearts. Queen of Spades, Seven of Clubs, Three of Spades. Check. Our opponent bets. What is that? Around 1/3, like some size between, yeah, maybe quarter pot, right? Um, and we decide to continue with the call. Turn five of diamonds. This is where we decide to donk lead, quarter pot. Our opponent calls, and then river, nine of clubs. Um, and we end up checking here. There we go. And our opponent checks back, jack seven. Um, so before we look at the solution, some thoughts I had on the hand were basically on the turn. This is where it gets kind of interesting. I don't anticipate my opponent to bluff all that often on a turn like this, and certainly not value bet very thin. So, like, if my opponent's not bluffing much, my hand probably does better in like a donk line. Um, and I think I have a lot of strong hands on this type of turn as well. So we'll see if this is a thing in theory. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And then on the river, I think I would have preferred to uh, block the river as well instead of check. Um, when I check this type of hand, it's kind of like, I'm deciding to essentially bluff catch or try to show it down. Um, Whereas like in this line, my opponent has a lot of ace high. He has a lot of 7x, some 3x pocket pairs um, that all check back the river, uh, and I unblock all those hands um, and beat them. So would have been nice to find a block here, but I think I was multi-tabling and ended up just checking. So anyway, let's go to the solution. I have it pulled up here. So cutoff versus big blind, single raise pot, queen 7-3. We check, and our opponent bets 1/3. Here they're splitting, so it might be better to use the AI solution, which I have available to me now. Check. Our opponent uses this quarter pot size, which is the case in game as well. And we have queen 10, and this hand class is mainly calling. So five of diamonds. And we do start to donk, so that's fun. I'm glad I found that. So I think a turn like this really tends to pacify my opponent. They're not going to be bluffing as much as they would on like a brick, right? Like a brick turn. So it's nice to have like some donking strategy on a turn like this. Another benefit to donking, and a reason why it might be viable in spots where maybe it's not acceptable theoretically, um, is because your opponent, when you donk, is supposed to raise quite a bit. Um, this has not been my experience in practice, and I think donks tend to pacify most opponents. So obviously, it's going to be specific to the player, right? Your villain, but I think generally any sort of donk or block bet on the turn is likely pacifying your opponent more than it is inducing some sort of raise. So this increases the equity realization for a lot of these hands. The main ones that benefit from that would be a hand like Queen 10, even some of these like pocket pairs, pocket nines, some 7x, ace 7, stuff like that, that would prefer not to get bluffed in the check line, or face like a bet in the check line, since we've already determined that our opponent's not going to be bluffing as often. And then when these hands do donk, it's nice that they don't get raised. So we donk and our opponent calls. We see the 9 of clubs river. Yeah, and every single combo is close. And you can see here they're using a B67, so I'm not sure. This is just picking a single size that is like the highest EV. So if I were to add one, this may be like a block size, and add like a non-all-in overbet, we can see what happens. So now blocking becomes a very nice play with a queen, for this quarter pot size, and this normal B66 is sort of reserved for like king queen, some of your stronger queen X. I think I would not use this sizing game because it seems a little bit specific to like a small region of hands, like king queen, queen jack. This is what I imagine this size is built around. So it might be better to play block or overbet, whereas like the overbet is going to be more built around the strongest queen X, and then some sets, some very strong hands. So this top portion here. We check and our opponent checks back. But yeah, like I think all things considered, would have liked to have found a block on the river. I was very much deliberating it, but just felt a bit close. In retrospect, seems much better to block than to check with this type of hand. Anyway, this is going to just be a quick one. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, and that everyone who, all 50 of you that are going to watch this video are doing well. And I will see you in the online streets as well as the live streets. Um, maybe mainly the online streets. I went and played some live today, like over at the a casino nearby where I'm visiting, and got totally cooked. So luckily did well the days prior, but live poker is uh, long and frustrating. So on that note, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I will see you guys soon.